It's a real privilege to be able to come out here. It's beautiful scenery. All these areas around most of our storages have a protected boundary, and so it's untouched for the last 50 years. It's nice to get out. It's also nice to know that you're contributing to something that's fairly important, such as the water supply for all of Sydney.
Lake Burragorang is the lake that's backed up behind Warragamba Dam, so this concrete edifice behind us is Warragamba Dam. There's about 4 times as much water in here as you'll find in Sydney Harbour. We have quite a huge catchment here at Warragamba Dam that goes almost all the way down to Braidwood, so the water sometimes has a long way to travel. It collects in the little streams in the catchment and ends up in the lake, ultimately, through some of the big inflows that we have. It backs up against the wall here where we let it out at whatever level we want to let the water out to supply Sydney.
See, within our catchment there's different land uses. There's anything from agriculture, there's semi-urban environments, and these can all bring different things into our waterways. Once it gets into the waterways, it then passes into the streams and into our bigger river systems, and then it gets into the lake.
Many people will look at Lake Burragorang and think it's just a beautiful scene out there and love the view of it all. But when I look at it, I see all sorts of things going on. That lake is alive, it's living, it's breathing, it's active. And stratification is a big part of that.
During the summer months, the top waters of the lake get quite warm, and if you've ever been in a swimming pool or a farm dam where you can definitely feel what we call the thermocline, so the transition between the warm water in the top and the cold water in the bottom. What we get in summer is some distinct layers of water inside the lake that we can see through all of our thermistor plots and things like that.
When the lake is stratified, we can monitor changes in temperature to see where an inflow is coming in.
After rainfall, water flowing into the lake can be highly variable in quality. When the incoming water is colder than the lake, it travels in a layer near the bottom. We can then adjust the height of where we draw our water from to avoid it. When the inflows are warmer, they travel closer to the surface. So we take our water from lower down in the lake.
Now we have quite a lot of technology to monitor inflows and stratification. We have thermistors and lake diagnostic systems, and they can provide us real-time data.
This is a seabird. This is a piece of monitoring equipment that we use out here on the lake. We'll drop this into the lake, and as it descends down through the water column, it measures various analytes that tell us a lot about the lake. It'll measure temperature and dissolved oxygen and pH and conductivity and things like that. And it relays all that information back to the laptop, which is in the cabin.
What we've got here is actually what the outlets down at the dam look like. These are actually real stop boards, real screens that we have. So the way we set the outlets up is we have a series of stop boards in the outlet. These are the solid structures. They prevent the water from passing through. Then we have in the centre here is a screen, and that screen is where the water passes through from the lake into the outlet works and then on down into Sydney. When these inflows are coming into the lake, what we need to be able to do is make sure that inflow doesn't impact on the outlets and where they're set. And if we were to determine that the inflow was going to impact on one of the outlets, we would make changes to the configuration of the dam, and that would be through reconfiguring the actual offtake level in conjunction with opening and closing the outlet valves at the dam. Okay, what we have here is the Warragamba Dam valve house, and these are the outlet pipes that you can see. It's through these pipes that water feeds down to Sydney, and again that's about 75 to 80% of Sydney's water supply goes through these pipes. These pipes are online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, supplying the very best available water to customers like Sydney Water. In managing a storage such as Lake Burragorang, you need to have very good information, and a big part of that is the science that goes behind that. An analogy would be, how does a builder go and build a house without his tools? And that's what science is to managing the storages.
think it's very important that we use the best available science. It's how we make our decisions. That way we can have some confidence in what we do so that we can supply the best quality water.